It must have been love and death and robots, but it's over now. But that doesn't mean we can't talk about it. I just saw Love, Death, and Robots. Let's get started. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Hello everybody, welcome to Thumb Together TV. My name is Andrew Fantasia, and today we're going to be talking about Love, Death, and Robots together. As usual, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and give some love to that subscribe button as well. I love short story collections. I do. I just think they're a whole bunch of fun. They're like a box of chocolates. They really are. Like you know, you never know what you're going to get with a collection of short stories. And I've read a bunch of them. I've read books from the Wild Card series. I've read both volumes of George R.R. Martin's Dream Songs. I've read the Conan the Barbarian and Necronomicon Weird Tales of H.P. Lovecraft. I love short story collections. They're so much fun to dive into. And I'm a big fan of stuff like Black Mirror and Twilight Zone. So when I heard that Love, Death, and Robots was coming out and it was in the same vein, I was giddy as a schoolboy. Do people still say that? And I was looking forward to seeing what Netflix had in store for us in regards to this very, very different kind of anthology series. However, now that I have seen it, I have a few bones to pick with it, namely having to do with the writing. Here's the thing, guys. I've said before on this channel that there is a big difference between a kids movie and a family movie. A family movie is something like Toy Story. A kids movie is something like Sharing is Fun, A Care Bear's Adventure. You see the difference. On the flip side of the coin, or at the other end of the spectrum, there is another line in the sand that we need to draw. Because there is also a very big distinction between something that is adult and something that is mature. I find that this pops up a lot in comics for some reason. Comic book writers, whenever they stray away from, the typical Batman and Superman and Spider-Man stuff, whenever they're writing their own original stuff and it's a lot edgier, they always like to toss around the word mature. They're like, ooh, yeah, this isn't like Batman, guys. This is a mature comic. Come read my mature comic book. But a lot of those writers cannot make the distinction between mature and adult. There is a difference. Mature is something like Taken or Inception. Adult is something like Debbie Does Dallas 2. Debbie continues to do Dallas. Again, big distinction. And a lot of the time, writers from comics and from other mediums will say that their work is mature when actually their work is just adult. It takes work and skill to make something mature. And while I think Love, Death, and Robots is adult, it is definitely not mature. And if you want an example as to why that is, you need look no further than the dialogue. Here's a secret I'll share with you. Swearing is fun. It is. Everybody loves to get off a good swear every now and then. It's cool. It's fun. We like doing it. And swearing in works of fiction, in books or TV or movies, can also be very fun when done correctly. Look at somebody like Tyrion Lannister. Tyrion Lannister can take swearing and turn it into an art form. Characters like that, with mature writers behind them, can make swear words fun. The writers of Love, Death, and Robots are not writing mature swearing. They are writing adult swearing. And that gets tiring real fast. Here, I can write a scene, a figurative scene that could have been plucked out of any episode of Love, Death, and Robots right now, off the top of my head. Ready? Here's what one would sound like. Fuck! Fuckity bitch, fuck! Sarge? What the shit is going on over there? I can't get these goddamn bastards off my motherfucking ass. That's what the shit is going on. Where the hell is my goddamn motherfucking backup, goddammit? And therein lies my biggest problem with this show. What you just heard, that is not good dialogue. In fact, I will go as far as to say, right here and now, that is very, very poor dialogue. The people responsible for crafting the stories in Love, Death, and Robots have wonderful, vivid imaginations, because every single story is different. Every single story has a different universe bursting from its core, and I love that. Mwah, I love that. Beautiful. However, your dialogue is wretched. You are wretched at writing dialogue. All of you. I'm sorry, but that's just the way I feel. Every episode, more or less, had dialogue like what you just heard me saying. And that's just not good. And I wouldn't even mind so much if it wasn't for the fact that, at the end of the day, you people who are writing this show are professional writers being paid significant sums of money. This is your career. You are making a living writing stories and dialogue, so you should be able to do it well. If not, move over, because there are other people who would gladly do it in your place. Now, of course, it's difficult to review a show when every single episode is its own unique entity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to breeze really quickly through every single episode and just give my extremely quick takes on what I thought of each one. Before I begin doing that, you should know that my main sort of criteria when it comes to judging short story collections, and I do this with Love, Death, and Robots, and I also do it with every book I ever read of short stories, with every Black Mirror and Twilight Zone episode that I watch. This is sort of the standard I hold it to, where, in my opinion, a great short story should make you immediately wish you could hear a longer one that takes place in the same world. So that was what I had in mind. That was my rubric, if you will, for grading these episodes and judging them accordingly. With that said, here we go. Sunny's Edge. This had some really neat world building to it. I like what I saw. I want to see more of this, so that gets points. And the twist at the end was great as well. This is one of my favorite episodes of the series. 3 robots. Hilarious concept. I love this to death. I could have watched hours more of these 3 robots just walking around chilling on Earth. The thing at the end with the cats, not my favorite. The Witness. I'm pretty sure this was my least favorite episode. The music and visuals were just obnoxious. The whole thing just gave me a friggin' headache. Again, going with that whole mature versus adult thing, the striptease scene in the middle was the most pointless thing I can remember seeing in a long time. Suits. This was a lot of fun. It was like Pacific Rim, but with farmers. I dug this. I want to see more. Sucker of Souls. I love stories about Dracula, and I love stories about finding, hidden things in archaeological sites. So I loved the premise, but this episode, I think more than any other one, was really, really guilty of the horrible dialogue, swearing for the sake of swearing kind of thing that these really immature writers think is cool and edgy. So it lost a lot of points with me for that. When the Yogurt Took Over. Maurice LaMarche's commentary is great. I mean, that man was born to be the next Orson Welles. And I love the whole social commentary that yogurt can run civilization better than humans can at this point. This was a lot of fun. Beyond the Aquila Rift. I'm not 100% sure if I get it yet. The twists and turns it took were a little bit confusing. I feel like I need to understand some space travel a little more to wrap my brain around it. But damn, whoever animated that episode, you did a fantastic job. You should be making video games or something, because that looked gorgeous. Good Hunting. This is my favorite episode, hands down, of Love, Death, and Robots. Talk about making me want to hear more stories in this world. It starts off like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Werewolf, and then by the end it turns into Steampunk Transformers. Yes! Yes, please. More. Please give me more. Bravo. The Dump. I'm usually not very good at predicting endings before they come because I'm too wrapped up in just watching what's going on, but for some reason, as soon as The Dump started, I had a feeling I knew how it was going to end, and it did. So I don't know if that's just me getting into the groove of things or if it was just kind of a very predictable kind of episode, but The Dump, I didn't like it or hate it. It was there. Shapeshifters. This is a very cool use of werewolves in a more contemporary setting. Helping Hand. Normally, I am done and tired with stories of astronauts on space stations where everything starts to go wrong. But this was a breath of fresh air. This was a really cool, different take on that with a different outcome and I enjoyed it. Fish Night. This was beautifully animated. The colors were gorgeous, but at the end of the day, it felt entirely pointless. When the cut to black and the credits rolled, I was like, so, Lucky 13. I thought this one was kind of bland. I'm sorry, it just felt like a cutscene from Halo or something. Like, there was just nothing special about it. Zima Blue. Considering the show is called Love, Death, and Robots, I have to say that Zima Blue is the most beautiful, cerebral story about robotics that this entire season contained. And the Art Deco looking animation was gorgeous as well. I really liked this one. Blind Spot. Okay, this was really cool and a lot of fun, I'm not going to lie. This felt like a Saturday morning cartoon that happened to take place in like a Mad Max kind of world. I dug it. Ice Age. This one was really delightful. It was really cute. I liked it a lot. And I could be wrong, but it might be the only episode that's safe enough to show your kids, too, unless I'm mistaken. It also felt the most like an old school Twilight Zone episode to me, so there's that. Alternate Histories. Beautiful concept, great animation. I kind of wish that this concept was, somehow available in real life. Like there was a really smart computer in real life where you could type in, like, what if this happened? And it showed you. Kind of like the professor's what if machine from Futurama. Take this to the next level. I want to see this be real. The Secret War. Probably the best animation in the whole show. Also a neat concept. I love the idea of like some occult shit going down in the forests of Eastern Europe during World War II. So it had that going for it too. I just think the story was a little bit bland and ended very abruptly. Like almost laughably abruptly. So that's my take on all the episodes of Love, Death, and Robots. Now, this show is getting a lot of comparisons tossed its way in regards to heavy metal. That seems to be the big comparison everyone is drawing. Love, Death, and Robots is like the new heavy metal. I'm going to just load my unpopular opinion shotgun really quickly here, but I don't think heavy metal is a very good movie to begin with. I know, maybe I'm crazy. It's a wonderful piece of 80s cheese, and you gotta love it for that. However, it's not a very well-made movie. The stories are not really substantial. There's nothing there. I actually think that a lot of the concepts presented in Love, Death, and Robots were better than the concepts presented in heavy metal, but heavy metal kind of felt more epic and took itself a little more seriously, like it was closer to being mature than adult. All I know is that comparison is very odd. While I get that they're trying to go for something similar, you should reach for loftier ambitions than heavy metal, is all I'm saying. In my opinion, the best part of heavy metal was the soundtrack. And Love, Death, and Robots, sweetheart, I'm sorry, but your soundtrack does not touch heavy metal by a wide margin. But anyway, that's what I think of Love, Death, and Robots. It was a show. It was definitely a show. Let me know what you think. Write it down in the comments below. This is actually going to be the last episode I put out on the channel for a little while because I am going to be heading to Star Wars Celebration Chicago in a couple of days. I'm going to be doing media coverage right there in the thick of things. We're going to be announcing all the crazy announcements as they happen, the trailers, the footage, the panels, the secrets, the guests, all of it. We're going to be doing that on the Rebel Scum podcast channel. So if you've not heard of or subscribed to Rebel Scum podcast, please be sure to do so now, and you'll see my shining face over there over the next 8 or 9 days or so as I'll be hitting the streets of Chicago and learning all there is to learn about Star Wars and all the upcoming goodness Lucasfilm has in store for us. Thank you so much for watching Thumb Together TV. My name is Andrew Fantasia. I'll see you here next time, and until then, adios.